Hi, I'm Julie Brunner, your instructor. I'm a housing practitioner and a consultant. As you know, in communities across the country, as the price of housing grows, the subsidies used to help families get into homeownership grow as well. Programs once had to provide only small amounts of assistance to help families find the funds they need to buy their first home. Now they must invest large subsidies to help bridge the gap between what people can afford and the price of market rate housing. As public subsidies increase, and as inclusionary housing has become a more common tool in developing affordable units, policymakers and practitioners want to make sure that the money invested in affordable homeownership benefits more than one family. As a means to that end, they've turned to resale restrictions. The legal mechanisms that programs use to restrict the price vary. Deed-restricted housing, community land trusts, and limited equity co-ops all invest public subsidies to create affordable homeownership opportunities, and then use resale restrictions to limit the price at resale to protect the community investment for the long term. This video series is intended to help practitioners better understand what it takes to create and maintain that affordability, while still providing homeowners with an opportunity to build wealth. Resale restricted homeownership sounds simple. In exchange for selling a home at a price that is below market, the buyer agrees to limit the price at which they can sell that home in the future so that it remains affordable to households earning roughly the same target income each time it sells. But as we'll cover in this series, resale restricted programs have two primary goals: ensuring long-term affordability and ensuring a fair return to homeowners. There is an inherent tension in creating a program that strives to both maintain affordability and build wealth. So when programs get started, they have to ask themselves how far they want to tip that balance in one direction or the other. In this series, we'll ask you to consider what is a fair return to the seller. If you have a board or committee of 10 people working on creating a new program, and you ask them all to tell you what a fair return is, you'll likely get 10 different answers. And that's okay because there is no single definition of fair return. But it is an important conversation to have before you get started. So later, when you're evaluating resale formulas to decide which one you'll use, you'll have some sense of how you want this formula to perform. There are also other considerations to keep in mind when you're choosing a resale formula, such as how easy is it to understand. Sometimes in an effort to be perfectly fair, you may create a formula that is so complex that your buyers don't understand what they're buying. How easy is it to administer? Similarly, in addition to being able to understand your formula, your staff will need to be able to administer it. So look for a formula that's easy to administer and is not subject to dispute. Do your funders have their own requirements? Generally, funders are more interested in maintaining affordability at the expense of wealth generation, but not always. What are your funders' expectations, and will all the potential formulas meet their needs? Does your program have any other goals, such as promoting long-term tenure or mobility? If so, formulas can be designed to reward other programmatic goals as well. Resale restricted homeownership has been around for a long time, so there are experienced programs across the country that have tried out different formulas over the years. Today, there are three basic types of formulas that seem to be most common and that pass the test in terms of being both easy to administer and to understand. Those are fixed-rate formulas, which we'll discuss in Module 3, index-based formulas, which we'll discuss in Module 4, and appraisal-based formulas, which we'll discuss in Module 5. For each type of formula, I'll explain how to calculate the resale value and describe the pros and cons. By the end of the series, you'll have enough of an understanding of each one that you'll be able to experiment with all the options and determine which is the best for your program and in your community. This video series is intended to help you better understand how to create and maintain that affordability while still providing homeowners with an opportunity to build wealth. Resale restricted homeownership sounds simple. In exchange for buying a house at a price that is below market rate, the new owner agrees to limit the price at which they can sell that home so that it remains affordable to households earning roughly the same income. When you complete this video series, you'll have the tools you need to help people buy their own homes, build wealth, and to keep those homes affordable over the long term. So let's begin. In the next module, I'll walk you through how to set the initial affordable price. And thanks for joining me.